now we will go ahead with the next session. And that is my friend and partner in crime, Mr. Uday Pendse. He will deliver a keynote address on the topic gut-brain axis and left-handedness. I request Mr. Uday Pendse to please take over and start his session. Thank you for your time. Mr. Uday Pendse, can you hear me?
Yeah. Good afternoon. Well, before I go to the topic, I will just briefly communicate a few things about me and then some of the experiences of left-handedness, and then the precise role of gut-brain axis, which is becoming a very big issue the world over. When I say big issue, it's in fact in the entire world of neurology and health and this and that. Everybody is now suddenly talking of gut-brain axis. The first thing is, as a left-hander, there were few left-handers in our family, but that was not as such coming in the way because most of them also did everything else with the right hand too. Whereas I was dominantly a left-hander in my house, and as a child, they tried to catch hold of my left hand, tied, etc. But at that time, there was one person from Ramchandra Mission who used to keep coming home. And he categorically told my parents that don't do anything of this kind because it may lead to disturbance of his development. And he that time predicted when I was just 4 or 5 that I'll be doing something very different in life. Now, I myself don't recall this exact words, but this is what I was told later by my father. This is what Mr. Samant said. And I landed up becoming a yoga teacher, a full-time yoga teacher. And this is my 50th year of teaching. So this is 50 years of just teaching yoga and yoga alone. And that too with a very base and a scientific approach. Another peculiarity that I observed about when I played table tennis with my left hand, there was, people were sometimes surprised at my returns. And this is what is, I think, very peculiar about left-handers. All those who play racket games, the unpredictability of a left-hander, where would he suddenly land up returning the shot and make it impossible for the opponent to play. Now, I'll just show you one very simple action. Suppose I'm holding a table tennis racket, which is typically a grip like this. Right now, I don't have a racket here. But suppose this is the rear side, that is backhand. I was very good in blocking. When somebody gave a topspin, I would very beautifully block it. And it will just go along the net. And I had the ability to turn my hand like this and still take it on the backside and the backside of the racket. So they could not judge when even extreme left of the table, extreme right of the table, I was able to just, slide the racket and give it whooping lift. So the spin used to come back on them with a very intense kind of a force. Few things that I have observed over a period of time is typically in India, that if you pay somebody with a left hand, they don't accept money. But I told them, this is my good hand. If you want it, otherwise you give the material, I return it to you and the deal is off. Then immediately the moment they saw loss, they used to accept. Now coming to the area of gut-brain axis, and I would expect, I think, Deepali ji to additionally speak extempo on this area because she being a medical personnel, she may be able to add a few things which I would not. What we are doing now in the management of epilepsy, we're using this gut-brain axis in a big way because what is seen today is the entire vagus nerve group. The vagus nerves continuously, trillions of them are sending information to the brain. In fact, the entire culturing of the brain happens through the abdomen. There is a sutra in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, a bit of a Sanskrit. In case in recording you can hear it again. It is called basically that if Nabhi Chakre kaya vyuha darshanam. If you focus well on the Nabi zone, that is the visceral cavity, you are able to get the feel of the entire system. You're able to, in a way, realize, understand every nook and corner of your living system. That's the beauty of just focusing, just being in the company of visceral cavity. In good old days, all the medical authorities in that time, whatever it was India, the Ayurvedic people always check the tongue, check the eyes, check the pulse, right? And they check the stomach. Now, stomach is in fact nothing but the brain. What you eat, what you digest, and the vagus nerves that the world is working on. We are looking at changes that come place that basically come with the patient of epilepsy, that the regulation of impulses from the vagus nerves to the brain, a quietening effect that is really required, is happening very well. They're able to sleep better. The intensity of attacks seem to be coming down. The need for drugs also is coming down. This is the only thing I can say at this point in time. And I feel that, sometimes left-handers have this problem of stammering and this and that. If just working with few simple techniques like Cobra posture, Agnisar as a technique, they can possibly win over stammering, diffidence, they fumble with words quite often. All this, I have an intense feeling that one can win over it. I never had any problem in mass communication. I've been able to speak well at length. I've been able to handle things well. The only group which has this problem should try working on visceral cavity. And I hope that stammering, diffidence in talking, unable to, look for specific words, the sequential nature, etc., may be able to get beautifully managed. And that's what I have to say. I think that's good enough. We are already behind schedule. So I think I will stop my communication here. In case there are any specific questions, I can always answer them. But primarily, I get a feel that being left-handed and the right-handed, you don't have to really separate the two groups. But whatever relative difference and the problems we face, if are handled rightly, I hope that the world will be much better to live. And that's the whole idea. And if we can spread a message of peace around, I think that's the most important thing today. The world over, the kind of agony that is going on, if we as left-handers decide to change the direction of the people thinking around, maybe we'll be able to help the world at large. Yeah. Over to you, Vipin.
So I would request if there are any questions from our Zoom audience or even from YouTube. I don't see anything on YouTube as yet, but maybe we will get some questions and we can address them later if possible.
Yeah.
So thanks again.
And,